Hey there clan and welcome to my overall thoughts on E3. Now, E3 technically isn't over, and unless there's some big news, I feel as though every big major announcement is already made, and I thought I'd give my quick thoughts on the roundup. The most of this stuff has come from the EA press conferences, because a lot of the other stuff that's came out of E3 really hasn't piqued my interest, and in all honesty, those are the ones I've only kind of watched. But I also have perused the various gaming sites for the big news, and a lot of right now is merely speculation. Now, admittedly, let me state what this video will overall be entail my style for any newcomers and, of course, regular viewers. Sorry. Basically, I'm only going to cover the games that stood out to me and the stuff that kinda interests me and give my overall quick thoughts on it. That is this niche here. So, if you're going to want if you want a detailed analysis of all the press conferences, there's probably a couple of dozen videos out there that will talk about it. I really want to talk about the stuff that kind of got me hyped. And of course, my regular viewers, I've already done 2 videos on Mass Effect Andromeda, so go watch them if you want my thoughts on them. And I'm basically not also talking about Batman Arkham Knight because nothing was really announced, and honestly, I kind of don't want to wait until the game comes out, so I haven't watched anything else involving Arkham Knight. So let's, without further ado, cue the intro, and let's start this video. Now, one of the things that did catch my attention, for mostly the negative reasons, but some positive reasons, is the announcement about the next Xbox One, the 1TB one I believe that's coming out, and that is that it will be backwards compatible, unlike the current gen Xbox One. I guess they just kind of felt like, you know what, let's not do it. So the Xbox One will be backwards compatible. Now, we do not know to what extent. The original Xbox 360, I believe, was kind of backwards compatible, but but trust me, it was not good. I hope that the Xbox One is a little bit better. Instead of adding new games to the thing, they're just adding the old catalogue back. Don't get me wrong, I like backwards compatibility. It actually adds more longevity to gaming systems. The PlayStation 2, it lasted for so long because it not only had the PlayStation 2 library, it had the PlayStation 1 library to do that. And I can understand people wanting the backwards compatibility. I still have my Xbox 360. I don't have an Xbox One, and there are some games that I do enjoy still playing on my Xbox 360. But as I say, we'll have to wait and see how good is it an emulation or does it actually run them properly? We won't know until it comes out, and in all honesty, it still hasn't swayed me to actually buy an Xbox One. There was 1 or 2 games that did do it, but I will get to those in a moment. The other thing about the Xbox that caught my eye was Xbox has announced that they are doing early access games. Sorry, I needed to do that. Okay, look, I mean, overall, I have no problem with early access games. I think early access has its place for some games, but unfortunately, if you're not on Steam, early access has been abused for so long. There are games that have been in early access for years. There have even been early access games that have been abandoned. Really, if Microsoft are going to be implementing this early access thing on the Xbox One market, they're going to have to do a lot better than Steam did. I.e., they're going to have to police it. They're going to have to basically say to the developers, look, here's it, we'll give you the early access game, but your game has to be done within a certain time frame. Because if they don't do that, that will be completely abused, just like it is on Steam. I'm not too happy with that personally, if you want me to be honest, but at the same time, I see some positives to it. It does give Microsoft to say, look, here's a game, say an indie developer wants to get a game on Xbox One, they want to develop it, but Microsoft says, let's see how it does in early access. This is going to be a little trial period, I think, for a lot of people, is that they will allow games on there that maybe they wouldn't have otherwise been put full funding into, but some games will get made out. Now, I'm okay with that aspect, but really, they're going to have to be very strict with the early access, and basically, if a game's in early access for too long, they need to pull it from the market and basically state to the developers, look, if you don't get your game done, you can't just stay in early access for an extended period of time. You have to be in early access for a year, a year and a half, I'd say at most, and then your game has to come out. That's my opinion, because early access on Steam has been abused beyond belief, and I'm sorry to say that, but I'm not too happy, and it still is another negative to the Xbox One in my opinion, overall at least. Now, that being said, there was one particular game that kind of stood out to me from the Microsoft ones that I want to address here, and that is Uncupped, which is a game in which you play a living cup in the style of a 30s cartoon. It looks hilarious and fun and awesome. I actually kind of like those old school cartoons. In all honesty, I used to watch them quite a bit as a kid. The old Goofies and the old Walt Disney ones with Donald and all that. I really did like them. I used to watch them on repeat all the time. And of course, I did see a couple of older ones like Steamboat Mickey and various other assortments. So I'm actually kind of interested in this game. I'm kind of want to see what it's like. It looks interesting. It looks pretty. And I don't have much else to say on it beyond the fact that it does look rather interesting. So that's another thing that stood out to me in the Microsoft one. But really not a lot stood out to Microsoft. Now, there probably is a game or two on my list that was at the Xbox One, but overall was pretty much a multiple one, so I can give quick thoughts on all of them. But I just wanted to get my thoughts on that out of the way, just so that I could at least get a little bit of negativity out of the way, and let's move on to the positives. Let's move on to the next. Now, I already talked about Rise of the Tomb Raider in my Microsoft press conference, so I'm not going to talk too much about it. Firstly, I'm still not happy that it's an Xbox exclusive, which from what we know it is a timed exclusive. So Rise of the Tomb Raider will come to PlayStation 4 and will come to PC at an as of now undetermined date. So we will have to be patient. There is a few good things out of this in my opinion. One, it gives them a chance to polish the game a little bit more for the other systems. Two, we'll get, if it takes like 6 months, we'll get all the DLC that comes out behind them for free probably. And it gives them... Yep, that's pretty much it actually. I'm not too happy with it, but Rise of the Tomb Raider still looks amazing. I absolutely loved the reboot to the new Tomb Raider game. I played it and I really did it. I love the story. I love the depiction of Lara. And I love this new look of Lara. Now, unfortunately, they did show gameplay, but then they showed, like, this is how we made her look more realistic. A little too long in that, in my opinion. But I did like the look of the new Rise of the Tomb Raider, but at the same time, I'm still annoyed that it's a timed exclusive. I kind of know why it is, and that is because Square Enix have squirrels for brains. Because they basically said if Tomb Raider didn't sell 4 million copies or something by X date, no sequel. And I think it did just get that out just before the date, but they weren't going to make it basically. So I understand why Crystal Dynamics went to Microsoft and says, look, we want to make sure it's out on all systems, but we will give you an exclusive. I completely understand why they may have gone to Microsoft, and Microsoft were like, look, we'll let you make your sequel, we'll pay for it, but we want a timed exclusive. So basically, without Microsoft, we wouldn't have a sequel to the Tomb Raider game from 2013, I believe it was. So I'm okay with that. So I'm happy we're getting a sequel. I just hope that it's not too long before we see it on the other systems. I no more than maybe a couple of months, in my opinion. I hope it's only like a month or two and not like a year. So that's really all I've got to say on that factor. Now, this game actually caught my attention, mostly due to the fact that I was actually kind of like, oh, that looks kind of cool. And also that it features a female character who has a bow and arrow. I don't know what it is right now, but do we all have fetishes for bow and arrows? Because that's like several different characters now that use a bow and arrow. Lara, this one from Horizon Zero Dawn, Hawkeye, who's awesome, Katniss Everdeen. Bows and arrows, I guess they're popular again. Don't get me wrong, good weapon. But this game kind of interests me a little bit because it's actually a kind of a unique game with a unique idea. As it's taking the idea of basically the world being destroyed by some cataclysm, technology going amok or something like that, and everyone being reset back to basically the times of prehistoric, the people who have survival skills, bows and arrows, campfires, that kind of thing. Only the twist here is that technology may have been the reason, because we do see robots and there is still an advocate of technology out there, but it's more like prehistoric mixed with Transformers, I think someone described it. Not the Michael Bay Transformers, the good Transformers. Mixed with that. So it's kind of like taking Captain Caveman there, holy hell. It's kind of like taking the Flintstones and Transformers and mushing them together and then adding a little bit of maturity to it. That's what's kind of interesting to me, is the fact that it does look rather unique, at least from that perspective, the idea of it. And it did catch my attention. I'm not sold on it just yet, but I am interested enough to say I actually want to see more of this. I want to see what else this game has to offer, and I want to see what it's like. I want to see more about it. I want to see gameplay. I want to see a trailer, and I want to maybe get a demo of some sort out there. I am interested in this game. I will wait until I see more, but I like the idea. Also, the design looks kind of cool. The character design, the monster design, and it does interest me. So, it definitely caught my attention, I'll say that much. And of course, I have to talk about this game because this game probably was one of the games that caught my attention the most, and it was Unravel. Now, this mostly caught my attention because of the guy who was presenting it at the, I believe it was Microsoft. No, it was an EA press conference, I believe it was. Feel free to correct me in the comments. But it doesn't matter what press conference it was. But the guy who was presenting it was just, you could tell that he was shaking. He was physically shaking, just how nervous he was about unveiling this game. But the way that he talked about the game is that he is passionate about it. He put a lot of hard work into this, and he wants to even had a little doll of his figure of Yarny, which is the main character of his game, which is Unravel. And then they showed gameplay, which is basically a trailer. And the game interesting. It's your standard 2D. It's your standard isometric platformer, I believe is how you call it, or 2D platformer. But the way the guy sold it and talked about it, I could tell there was genuine passion. And honestly, I wanted to go up and hug that guy because he was like, but I give him all the credit because it takes a lot of guts to go up on there. Even though you see people doing it on a daily basis nowadays, someone going up just now, I wouldn't be surprised if he threw up backstage after that. But I really like the look of this game. It actually caught my attention, and it's definitely gone on my watch list. And I definitely probably will pick it up because it does look rather interesting. It also looks kind of cute, and it looks kind of cutesy. And I want a Yarny now. I want a little Yarny figure. I might actually have to try and make one. I need to get some yarn and try and make one myself. But I actually like the look of the game and the idea of it. And also just the concept of it. It looks really interesting. Your standard platformer probably, but the introduction of how the yarn works, I'm interested to see how that goes. So I'll wait to see more of it. But definitely I'm keeping my eye on Unravel. I guess I can talk about this briefly. I don't have much to say on it, but I do at least have enough bit of respect for the series to at least give my quick thoughts on it. There's a new Gears of War. Gears of War 4 has been announced, and they actually showed early alpha footage, I believe it was, of the two new main characters, one being voiced by the ever-talented Laura Bailey, who of course voices Bianca and Dagna from Dragon Age, because she's adorable, and I'll leave it at that. But now, I've never been the biggest Gears of War fan. I did like Gears of War 3. I actually have Gears of War 3, I believe it is, here. I got this. I've got this Gears of War 3. As you can see, I bought the limited edition. I'll be honest, I picked this. This didn't cost me a penny. Well, I know why, because I went in and traded a bunch of games that I didn't want in the morning. That was the last time I ever traded in games, because I don't know what it says, and I was able to trade in enough games to get this for absolutely nothing. So I'm kind of happy about that. But yeah, I like Gears of War. I actually like the concept. Now, it wasn't until my friend GamerMD83 actually sold me on the series, because I thought Gears of War 3 just looked crap when I first saw it. I was just like, muscle-bound guys walking around a gun with chainsaw guns. Didn't interest me. But once MD sold me on the story of it, there was actually a story to it, and she described it to me, I was like, you know what? I'll give it a shot. So I picked up Gears of War 3. I really liked it. I liked the story. I liked the characters. Now, admittedly, I jumped into the series at the end, basically, of what the hell is his name again? I forgot his name. Marcus Phoenix. That's his name. Marcus Phoenix's story. This is the end of his story, and I jumped in at the end of it. But at the same time, I still connected with it. I still enjoyed it. I didn't fall in love with it as much as MD probably hoped, or as she does, because she loves the series. But Gears of War 3 does have me interested, and I'm interested to see where they're going with this, with the new story, especially after the events of Gears of War 3 and how it kind of ended. I'm kind of interested to see where it goes from there. And of course, Laura Bailey doesn't hurt. So yeah, the game looked good. Of course, they did also announce the ultimate version of Gears of War 1 coming to Xbox One. Hopefully it's a proper remake and not just a bloody port. But yeah, I'm interested in this game at least, to at least catch my attention. I suppose I can, instead of doing a little edit, I could move on to the next thing, of which of course is Star Wars Battlefront. I have to talk about this. Now, let me just state this right now. I'm not a super Star Wars fan. I love Star Wars. I genuinely love the series. I love the mythos. I love the world. I've never been the biggest fan of the films. I still hold the films as they are good films. What, 4, 5, and 6. 1, 2, and 3 to an extent. I'll give... People have argued, debate. I'm not going to go into the whole movie thing. But I like the Star Wars universe. I love the universe more than I probably love the movies, in all honesty. I love the mythos. I love the character. I love the idea of it. So, more Star Wars... I'm not going to complain about it. Battlefront, however, is a series of games that I missed out on. I never played them. I never played the original Battlefront, and I don't think I could go back and replay them in all honesty, just because maybe they might be a bit clunky. I'm not 100% certain. Maybe one day I'll give them a shot. But I'm kind of interested in this Battlefront game. The gameplay that it showed, which is alpha again, definitely got my attention. I was kind of like, you know what, this looks kind of cool. Now, it's been made by the same guys who I believe have handled the Battlefield franchise, which, in all honesty, is as long as it's not just like Battlefront with a Star Wars skin, I'm sure it'll be fine. Now, as I say, they did show they showed X-wing, they showed Starship X-wing, A-wing, TIE Fighter combat. They showed a little bit of Jedi and Sith, of course, gunplay, and it does look rather interesting. I might pick it up, but I need to see more. I'm not 100% certain just yet if I will pick it up. Maybe I'll pick it up to play with you guys or play with my friends. But really right now, I need to see more before I'm sold on it. But other than that, it looked good. And I'm kind of interested to see where it goes and on that. So hopefully this could lead way to more Star Wars games. I'm not going to spend too much time on this. Mirror's Edge Catalyst. Now, let me state this right now. I have played the first Mirror's Edge. I never beat it, I'll be honest, because it didn't catch my interest. It's very rare when I don't beat a game I start. Like, I've beaten games, worse games. Hell, I've beaten 2 Worlds. That should say something. But Mirror's Edge just never catched me. I liked the idea of a first-person parkour game. The story was kind of interesting. Faith was, for me personally, I'm going to be honest. But I still was like, yeah, it's a good try. It was an interesting concept. I like it. Mirror's Edge Catalyst is a prequel, which not the biggest fan of prequels in all honesty. And it does look rather interesting. I do like the fact that they've basically dropped the whole gun system out, basically, because that was the worst part of the Mirror's Edge. And it's more idea of parkour, martial arts. It does look kind of interesting, but I'm going to be honest, it doesn't really give me butterflies or make me go, ah! No, it just makes me go, meh, I might try it, I might not, maybe if there's nothing else out that week, I might pick it up. I don't know, I need to see more, but in all honesty, I'm not completely sold on it just yet. I know there are hardcore fans of the Mirror's Edge franchise out there, even though there's only been one game, but I do understand people's excitement and interest in the series, but for me personally, not so much. But I just wanted to at least give my 2 cents on it. Okay, well, this I have to talk about. South Park getting a new game right off the bat. Yeah, this was unexpected. I honestly thought it was just going to be DLC for South Park: The Stick of Truth, which, by the way, I love that game. That game is awesome. It's one of the few licensed games that's actually really good. Now, in all honesty, I haven't watched South Park in years, but I picked up Stick of Truth because I was like, I want to see if they actually capture the game and the essence of South Park. Because I did watch it as a kid, and I stopped watching it years ago because I don't know if I outgrew it. But yeah, it kind of holds a special place in my heart because it made me ask my mum what's a dildo in a supermarket once. That was an interesting day. But yeah, I liked Stick of Truth. I absolutely loved it. It was one of the few licensed games that I can definitely say was up there. And if you haven't played it yet, I highly recommend it. If you like South Park, you'll like it. And this one is that I'm interested in because it's the Fractured Butthole, as it's called. And it's a new game. It's not DLC. The creators of South Park, on whose names I can never came out, just says that by the time they were finished with the last one, when they were like, I never want to make another game again, they're like, let's make another game, because they actually says we learned how to make a game by the end of it. So I am interested in this, and in this one, instead of doing the fantasy thing, it's going to be using the superhero aspect of it from the Coon trilogy, of course. I did watch that because people just said it was awesome, and it was good. I enjoyed it. So I am interested in this. I probably will pick it up because I absolutely loved Stick of Truth. So I am going to pick up the Fractured Butthole. And it does pique my interest. I'm interested to see how they're going to do it. Apparently you will be playing the same character, the new kid. So since basically you drop the fantasy, now you're superheroes. So I'm definitely interested to see how they're going to pull that off. And I probably will definitely pick it up in all honesty. Now to move on to the Square stuff. Honestly, Square Enix's press conference kinda lackluster personally. Here's the only things I have to really say that stood out to me. Firstly, I'm going to give my 2 cents on the Final Fantasy VII Remake. let me just state this as someone who never played Final Fantasy VII when it came out. I didn't. I'm all for Final Fantasy VII Remake because I actually want to play Final Fantasy VII. I actually have a physical copy of Final Fantasy VII I bought on eBay for about 30 or so quid. It's in a box somewhere. Otherwise, I'd show you to actually prove that I have it. But I bought it going, I'm going to have to try Final Fantasy VII to see what all the buzz was about. And I did play it, but in all honesty, it's not aged well at all, if you ask me. It's clunky. The graphical style is very like, oh no. I understand that this was early 3D model rendering. I completely understand that, but I'm an advocate for the fact that there are some games from back then that do need remakes, and Final Fantasy VII is one of them, because I actually want to play it. I actually want to play Final Fantasy VII, but I physically cannot play Final Fantasy VII on PlayStation 1 or PlayStation 2 with the PlayStation 1 disc, because I just find it too disjointed to play with. I'm just like, no, art style hurts eyes, and it's very clunky. And it says, I understand people who grew up with it can go back and play. They've already done that. I didn't. So I want to play Final Fantasy VII on the next generation with a proper remake. However, I just don't. They've given no release date, which probably means they've barely started on it. Square Enix have been teasing the Final Fantasy franchise fans with a remake of Final Fantasy VII since the announcement of the PS3. They've been teasing us since then, and now they're just like, we're making it. No idea when we're going to get it out, so see ya. So I'm saying 5 years. I would not be surprised if we do not see this Final Fantasy VII remake in 5 years, and I hope that it's a proper remake, a proper good remake with some new content, polished up, and I hope that it is out before. I really would like to see it out by next year, in all honesty, but it probably won't be out for another 5 years, because Square Enix, they have squirrels for brains, as Arsene Guy would say. But yeah, I don't have much else to say. I want to play Final Fantasy VII, but I can't. I need a remake to play it, in all honesty, and I understand people out there who are hardcore fans of it. So yeah. That's all I got to say on that. Of course, I have a little bit more to say about Kingdom Hearts 3. They showed gameplay, and it made me squee. I was like, eee! Now, I only recently got into the Kingdom Hearts series. This was mostly due to Arsene Guy, or the Lore Runner as he's now known, sold me on the series. I watched his rumination on it, and I was like, you know what? I'll give Kingdom Hearts a try. So I went on eBay, and I found Kingdom Hearts 1 and Kingdom Hearts 2 for $10 each, and I was like, screw it, I'm buying it. So I bought both on PlayStation 2, and then 1 week later they announced the 1.5 remake, which I still haven't bought and played. But yeah, I played through the original Kingdom Hearts on PlayStation 2, and you know what? I got hooked. I really liked them. I actually really liked them. I'm not going to lie. I got hooked on them. Now, don't get me wrong, there are problems with the series. The Pirates section in Kingdom Hearts 2, the story, especially Sora, got really for me personally. But I love the Kingdom Hearts series. I really do like it. And I definitely want to play Kingdom Hearts 3 because unlike, I'm one of the lucky ones. Since I only played Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 recently, like within the past 2 years, I haven't been waiting for over a decade for it. At least I think it's over a decade by now for Kingdom Hearts 3 because, yeah, Kingdom Hearts 2 kind of ended a bit of a cliffhanger. So yeah, I'm excited for it, and the gameplay looked beautiful. It looks stunning, and I was like, I want. When? And it probably won't be out until maybe next year, maybe the year after that. I'm not 100% certain, but it did catch my interest. And Kingdom Hearts 3, I kind of really want to play now. So I'm excited for it, and I really want to hope that it's good. We'll have to wait and see, in all honesty. But yeah, I'm hyped. I'll be honest. I haven't played a lot of the Kingdom Hearts games. I've only played Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2. I do have Dream Drop Distances, but I haven't got around to beating it. I just started playing it and then just stopped for some reason. I maybe get around to beating that eventually. But I will probably end up picking up 1.5 and 3 and 2.5 in all honesty for the other games in the series. But that's just me. Okay, I guess I can talk about Uncharted 4. Now, I'm a fan of the Uncharted series, so yeah, I'm interested in Uncharted 4. I personally don't think we need another Uncharted, in my opinion, because Uncharted 3 kind of wrapped everything up in a nice little bow. But Uncharted 4, you know what, I'm interested in it. This is supposedly the final Uncharted game, and I'm interested to see where it goes. It says Naughty Dog are an awesome developer. Of course, they gave us Last of Us, which is, I was so hoping they would have announced The Last of Us 2, but I guess that's just me. But yeah, I am interested in Uncharted 4. They showed some new gameplay. I'm probably going to pick it up in all honesty, but I want to see a little bit more. But other than that, I don't have much else to say on it besides it looks good. It looks like they've improved a few things, and I'm interested to see where Drake's story takes them. That'll be there. So yeah, I think that pretty much wraps up everything that kind of interested me for E3. In all honesty, this year's E3 was just okay. There was some technology stuff that kind of caught my eye, but nothing really stood out beyond the HoloLens. But even then, I was kind of like, hope it lives up to the hype. But yeah, so I don't have much else to say. Overall, the press conferences were good, and the new gameplay that came out was still very good. I definitely think Bethesda won that, especially with Fallout 4, which kicked freaking ass. Fallout 4 looked phenomenal. If you don't want to know my full thoughts on that, it's on my Bethesda video on my channel. But definitely Bethesda won it. They did their press conference was pretty much perfect. In honesty, it started off good and ended on a bang, in my opinion. The other press conferences, especially the EA one, which I don't want to say too much on, which EA sucked. Yeah, don't have much else to say on that, in my opinion. But yeah, the press conferences were good, enjoyable, and most of the games I've mentioned on this list from my little thoughts on E3 are the games that caught my eye the most, in all honesty. So hopefully that was enough for you. And let me know what you saw in E3 which caught your eye. What games caught your eyes off the bat that made you go, ah, doesn't matter what it was. What ones made you go, give me. I want a gif of that, by the way. So yeah, that's the one to call me. I hope you enjoyed this video. I thank you for watching. If you are new to the channel, feel free to click that subscribe button. And other than that, I thank you for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Ciao for now.